Hey everybody, it's Charlie from Daily Motor. Today we've got the sound system demo of the 2021 Volvo XC60, the top-level Bowers & Wilkins premium audio system. This is going to be an in-depth review. We're going to take a look at how the Sensus infotainment system works, take a look at all the inputs and settings, listen to some sample tracks, get out on the road, listen to those tracks while we're rolling. I'll give you my thoughts at the end. So before we get started, let's hop out, take a quick look at the car. I've really enjoyed driving this T8 Polestar engineered XC60 around. I've also really enjoyed the audio system. So if you want to see more on the car, check the link in the description for our full review. We haven't had a chance to do a highway fuel economy test of this car. The weather sort of got in the way. So we always do these tests with uncompressed WAV lossless audio files on a USB drive plugged directly into the audio system, and high quality binaural microphones in both of my ears, giving you the most realistic audio system demo on YouTube. We'll also do the tests with the sound settings set to their factory defaults. Now, I wish I could spend all day with you going over this Volvo audio system because they really have so many ways to tweak it, play with it, and make it sound so excellent. There's two different ways to check sound settings. There's up here, under your settings, and you got sound. There you've got your standard front, rear, left, right, fader, and balance. Very adjustable. You can see you move it all over the car. Set. You also have your tone. There's your treble, bass, subwoofer, and then a full-fledged graphic equalizer here that you can set some of their presets: warm, bright, dynamic, or custom. You can just slide anything all over where you want, make some real screwed up sound. Reset that. So I'll go through, I'll show you the treble, bass, and subwoofer, but I'm not going to go through every little individual equalizer setting. Alright, and then you also, on the main screen, if you scroll over to the side, have the sound experience setting. There you can switch between studio, individual stage, concert hall, and jazz club, which is new for 2021. So in studio, you have either all seats, driver, or rear. And that's supposed to give more of an unaltered, realistic audio experience, what you might sound here if you were in a sound studio. It's kind of coming at you from both sides primarily, not really a artificial 3D experience. For that, you go over to individual stage. Then you kind of have this 360 experience envelopment setting. Switch over to the next song. And you can change the intensity of the surroundness and also the envelopment. So right here, like max, it's going to sound like very much coming around me, a little more artificial, kind of a bit more hollow, but it's supposed to be a surround sound experience. Let's let the music pick up a little bit here. It's a little less crisp, but it's kind of coming from all around me. And also adjust those. Now it sounds like it's coming from right in front. Reset it, gives you this 50%, 120 degree setting. So I'll switch back and forth between stage and studio. I usually like using the stage setting. I have it about 50 to 40% intensity, depending on where I can get it, and then about typically a little more like 180 envelopment, something about right here. But I will say it does kind of depend on what music I'm listening to. Then you also have this sort of gimmicky concert hall setting. It's supposed to replicate the sound of the Gothenburg Concert Hall in Sweden. Volvo headquarters there, Gothenburg. Maybe when we listen to our orchestral track, we'll turn that one on. And then this is kind of cool, the new jazz club setting. This is supposed to be the Nefertiti Jazz Club in the heart of Gothenburg. It says New York style jazz. Probably wouldn't really be listening to electronic there, but Maybe we'll sample that one later with our piano track as well. Actually, let's switch up to our next track, Chill Stop. Let's see how that one sounds here. Kind of give you a little bit of that kind of, you can hear the hollowness in the snare drum. It's supposed to be like you're kind of there at a club. Pretty neat. I like the Volvo systems because they kind of walk the line between gimmicky and the Mercedes systems, and then sort of the true sound experience of the Mark Levinsons and the Lexuses. This kind of blends the middle. You can have sort of a true sound or kind of a gimmicky artificial sound, but they all sound really good. So we're gonna go back to studio for now. Talk about sound controls. You've got this nice center volume knob, big, easy to grab, good detents. It's a little light, but not bad. You've also got volume controls right here on the steering wheel, up and down. Track selection, you've got 2 physical track select buttons there. You can also go into the touchscreen, choose your tracks, and you can do so from the steering wheel. Now, I will say, if you're using a USB drive, there isn't a way to actually view your songs by folder, which is a bit frustrating, especially for the sound test. You saw me clicking through my tracks earlier. That's because I wasn't able to just go into my sound test track folder. I had to kind of, even whether I'm by artists, composers, album, doesn't matter. Everything's just this unknown section. And I had to just skip through all my tracks. Fortunately, the bottom ones are labeled with higher numbers. So I got 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 all in a row. Speaker locations. You do have 15 speakers and I think 1100 watts for this Bowers & Wilkins system. So for those, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'll actually get out. 9, 10, 11, 12. 13, 14 in the ceiling, and then 15 for your subwoofer. Pretty comprehensive system and very well balanced. I believe it's a 12-channel amplifier, so all of your sounds come through individually and crisply. All right, let's get out on the road. Oh wait, Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. How could I forget? So you do have support for both of those, as well as your standard AM, FM, Sirius XM satellite radio, Bluetooth, USB-A, and that's it. So what are you missing? Well, you don't have a 3.5mm auxiliary input jack, and you also don't have a disc player. So a little disappointing from the high fidelity audio standpoint, but not too surprising here in 2020. So we will have to disconnect our USB drive to sample Apple CarPlay and Android Auto because there's only one USB-A port that goes into the system. So let's start with Apple CarPlay. Put that in. Do you want to start Apple CarPlay? Yes. And then you see with the portrait landscape of the Sensus system, kind of just brings up Apple CarPlay and Android Auto in this mini screen setup. Still very responsive though. You can see there are Apple Maps, very easy to use. Phone setting, over the settings menu. CarPlay works very nicely, if a bit small, but you can kind of go to other things really easily, and it is nice that you don't lose your clock up there. You still have a thermometer up in the center gauge. Still very easy to use the rest of your system. Android Auto works similarly. Plug that in. There we are, Android Auto. So you see you've got your Google Maps coming up, microphone button down there, notifications. Android Auto resolution a little bit lower, but still fully functional. You got your settings menu, map, music, everything there. All right, let's plug the USB drive back in, get on the road. This song, I'm going to start it out in studio, we'll get going, and I'll switch over to concert hall. Go back up to studio for natural sound, and we'll switch over to the next track. As frequent viewers of our channel know, this one can really test the limits of an audio system. So let's see how the Bowers and Wilkins can handle it. What I love about using this track to test the audio systems is sound systems with many channels and many crisp, well-calibrated speakers really get rewarded, and this Volvo is a great example of that. Not a single sound is coming through too harsh. I can hear the high highs, the low lows. Every sound and every instrument is given its own place in the vehicle. Oftentimes, if I turn the song up in even moderate to good audio systems, the mid-ranges just get muddled and come through harsh in my ears. Not the case with the Volvo. I can keep the volume at a loud setting and everything still sounds pleasant to my ears. Very impressive. This song will turn the bass all the way up and the subwoofer, why not? Most bass I've ever heard in a system. Definitely gotten some stronger bass in a few of the other premium vehicles. But it's a very satisfying and usable bass for a lot of sorts of music. But if you're listening to heavy R&B, low bass drops, you're not really going to get the kick you were hoping for from a custom system in the XC60. Now that we're at highway speeds, turn the volume down real quick, let you hear Volvo sounds like. We'll slow down to 70. Should get past this semi-truck real quick though. The only thing you tend to hear is wind noise. Very minimal to no wheel noise, tire noise, or engine noise. summing up my thoughts on the Bowers & Wilkins audio system here in the XC60. Ladies and gentlemen, this one is one of the greats. Volvo does such an excellent job working with Bowers & Wilkins to get a crisp, usable, dynamic sound out of all sorts of music in their vehicles. I really think this is one of the best systems to pay your money to upgrade to. Volvo's always been up there at the top with the Mark Levinsons from Lexus and the systems from Mercedes-Benz. This one is no different. It does sound just a marginal hair lower than the XC90, so if you want pinnacle Volvo audio experience, you gotta go up to the big model, but I really think this one is excellent as well. If I had to give an objective rating to this sound system, I'm giving it a 9.5. The only downsides are the fact that you don't have a 3.5mm auxiliary input jack or a disc player. Not the end of the world, like I said, but still keeps it from being a 10. And subjectively speaking, for this price point, you're looking more of like a 9. I mean, you are talking about a $71,000 vehicle here in T8 trim, but you can get this audio system cheaper, that's for sure. So thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you liked the video, hit that subscribe button. Check out our other XC60 review, and we'll see you on the next one. I'm Charlie from Daily Motor, and as always, drive on.